I aquest cap de setmana s'ha presentat a Londres el llibre Darrere del Smoking, del jove de 18 anys de Manacor, Lluís Abbou. L'acte es va fer al Cinema Museum davant un centenar de persones. A l'esdeveniment hi va assistir Martin Beswick, dona Bond, Robert Sellers, l'autor del llibre The Battle for Bond, i Sylvan Whittingham, Mason, filla del guionista de les pel·lícules de James Bond. També hi era present Rocky Taylor, doble de Bond en 14 cintes. L'acte també va acollir la projecció de Proyección Thunderball de l'any 1965.
Everybody, thank you very much to be here tonight. It is said that synchronicity is when a coincidence shifts the motion of your life. In 2012, age 13, in a family holiday in London, we posed for a photo with a waxwork of a very famous actress at Madame Tussauds, the museum. The next day, in Harrods, my mother spotted the very same lady who graciously allowed us to pose for another photo, this time with a real person. We told her about the waxwork photo. "You will not know who is who now," she said. Just a few months later, Skyfall, in which that lady had a part, was released. It was my first Bond film ever, and I was already amazed with James Bond and this woman even before the title sequence appeared. Yes, she was Dame Judi Dench, and I was hooked. Within a few weeks, I had read all the Ian Fleming books, seen the previous films, and also created the Bond website and the Facebook group, The World of James Bond. Usually, the Bond films are released around Christmas, and that year it was pretty clear that the perfect gift for me would be anything related to Bond. Because I knew that James Bond was one of the greatest things that anybody has created, and I was going to be a great fan. I became so interested by Bond and discovered so many interesting things about his world that I eventually decided to write a book. 150 pages in Spanish that I never thought that would be published. But once it was, the Bond fans on Facebook asked if the book was in English, and I set to work. I was excited. Firstly, I managed to get an interview with Dame Judi on the phone, and after that everything got easier, and I did over 25 more interviews with some amazing people who has worked in the Bond films. My 550 pages English book, James Bond Behind the Tuxedo, was published last December, and its second edition just a few days ago. In the past years, I've been lucky enough to have met and talked with a lot of people involved in Bond films, the lovely Sylvan Mason, who is with us tonight, author Robert Sellers, who is also here, and Martin Beswick, who will be here as well. Valerie Leon, Pete Eklund, Caroline Munro, Mary Smith, John Glenn, Ambra Moore, Bill Syme, Gary Powell, Michael G. Wilson, and Barbara Broccoli, Terry Bamber, Stan Double, Bobby Holland, and many more. I was of course thrilled with a phone interview with Dame Judi, but my dream was to meet her again. So on a cold and rainy February afternoon this year, I realized that her daughter Finty was appeared in a play at the Old Vic, the Revite, and I bought a last-minute ticket for a press night as I thought that her mother would be there. Just outside the theatre, I spotted a car. I spotted Dame Judi parked in a car parked just in front of me near the stage door. I was shaking with nerves again, but I walked up to her and with a weak voice I said hello, and I explained who I was. She remembered me from that phone interview. I remember you, Liz, we talked about Bond a couple of years ago when I was shooting Victoria and Abdul, and we kept talking while we walked to the theatre. During the interval, I saw her sitting alone in her seat, and I decided to buy 2 ice creams. I went and offered her the choice of vanilla or chocolate. She asked me to sit down next to her, and we talked for 30 minutes about Bond and her career and life, and me and my book. While we were eating the ice creams, it felt if we were friends who had met up after a long time. She was just as I imagined her. My dream was now reality, and I will never forget that evening. But that's not all. A few days later, on my 19th birthday, I received a message from Sam, her grandson. "Happy birthday, man." And a video of Dame Judi Dench wishing me a happy birthday. I was obviously shaking again and thinking how lucky I was. It is in some way that thanks to her that I'm here tonight. And however she's not able to be with us today, she has asked me to send us her best wishes. Yes.
Tell me it's your birthday, I think, today. So this is to wish you a very, very happy birthday. It was lovely meeting you at the Vic the other night. I'm sorry we didn't have longer. but have a lovely day.
He's met everybody in the Bond world. I was so impressed with him. He came to interview me at my home. He turned up on time, smartly dressed. He very well prepared. He knew the very complicated story that I represent. He knew all the details. He asked some very intelligent questions. And I was just charmed by him, as everyone else has been. And here we all are tonight. So can we have a big hand for the boy from Monaco? The boy from Monaco, it sounds like a good movie title. Maybe that'll be your next. No. So, are there any Bond fans in the house? Well, I represent my father here tonight, Jack Whittingham. It's a very, very complicated tale that some of you will know and some of you won't know about how the Bond franchise started. But it did start with a man called Kevin McClory, whose idea... And Kevin took Fleming to court because he was able to do that because it's like another film in itself, this. He met and married Abbou who was a beautiful millionairess who was heiress to the Hawker Siddeley fortune, and she was able to back him in the case against Fleming. And he won, and Fleming lost. Kevin won the movie rights to Thunderball, and Fleming kept the book rights. But the story started long before Swordsman properly entered the scene. And anyway, I brought along a little film today. It's only 5 minutes long. It's 60 years old, and it's something that most of you would never have seen. It's Kevin and my father in Marbella in 1959, where they were looking for locations. If you got that far, they were looking for locations for the first Bond movie. And I want you to notice the terrain in Marbella. I don't know if anyone's been to Marbella, but it's very, very built up now. See how it was 60 years ago. Very, very interesting.
And author Robert Sellers, whose book The Battle for Bond was acclaimed to be a must-read for any Bond and cinema aficionado. So please. So we don't have a lot of time, so we'll go straight to if anybody in the audience has an answer for any of us. Please feel free.
You know, he wasn't very kind to my father, and we were quite cross about that for a long time. And my father was quite sad because he sort of abandoned him. They had been very good friends. But, you know, I couldn't not love Kevin. He had his own personal story. I mean, he was torpedoed in the... Was it the war? Where was he? He was torpedoed anyway, and he was in a lifeboat for 2 weeks at sea. Which, you know, I mean, by night they had these vests on, and by day they put them over their heads. It was so hot. And when they were rescued, his feet had swollen up to, well, he couldn't walk and he couldn't speak. And he was in hospital for a long time. It was a terribly traumatic experience. And so, you know, after that he became very determined.